Alright, welcome back. It's been a bit. Been a day or two since I last streamed. Let's get to work. So last stream I had prototyped a basic design look of a design for the Mania system. Now I have off camera. I got some small work done and got a bit closer to something that might be the final design, or at least close to the final design. But basically, what we got going here is a very basic counter in a sense, using power to figure out what exactly is happening. The way this works is whilst the run is happening, we got this basic counter where we have this here, which acts as our generation of counts. This acts as our what's being added to the current generation, and then underneath is just the ability to decrease that count and bring all that back. So what happens is, let's say we were to generate 1 mania, right? What will happen is when I click this, we will add 1 count to here, saying, hey, we've generated 1 mania. So that'll simultaneously send a signal to add the scaled value of counts into here. Simultaneously, it will then activate this system, which will basically say, after this counter hits, there is a delay, a decently long delay, that will say, hey, stop this passive, the passive decrementer. Because this is the reason this exists is because whilst there isn't anything happening, that this will automatically be slowly decreasing your counts. That's the goal with that, which means we need to turn that off when a new count of mania is being generated. And then once that is all said and done, once that's been added, and then this delayer clocky funny thing ends, it will then turn this back on and then allow it to slowly decrease after a certain amount of time. However, now saying this, I'm thinking about making this a longer delay. Yeah. Because it's gonna have to be decently long for the amount that's being pulled out. Let's see. Give me 1 moment. Alright, so now when I click this, it will add our amount here, and then this happens, and then this is stopped, and now, just like that, we're back to it. All comes back loop. But if I were to add, let's say 5, all right, now what this is doing is basically holding this out until we completely go through every single counted mania that we just generated. And that's going to take some time. That's a decent amount of mania that's been generated. Something considering though is this might actually end up having to be longer as well. I may end up having to extend this a little bit longer. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Let's see, and then now the reason I want to extend that is because I want this to actually maybe increase a bit more. Just a hair longer. I want to scale it a little bit bigger, I think. Not too much bigger though. Just a little bit, just a little bit bigger. Just a wee bit. Hmm. Yeah. Go ahead and give that a shot. Hmm. Well, pain. Pain, my dude. Pain. Oh, I see. I see what's happening. Okay, darn. Well, shucks. Shucks, my dude, shucks. Back to this we go then. Perfect. Choose. Perfect. Alright, awesome. That worked 100%. Hmm. I'm thinking maybe now instead of that is actually we do this. I think maybe we do that instead. Yeah. Yeah, because now we don't even get that signal game pulled out. We just get, it's just one solid pulse. Heck yeah. So now that completely shuts off perfectly, and then it'll turn on perfectly once again. Yep. Yup. Winning. Winning, son. Winning, son. And this will just slowly decrement. Yo, perfect. All right, awesome. Next up, technically you only need one of these for copy paste purposes. I think we'll just keep these, move them out of the way. So this plays into our Mania. This is our Mania system right here in a nutshell. I am thinking though, maybe I pull a signal here to shut this off. Right. Don't only start this cooldown once there's actually. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's probably why I need to do that probably. Hmm. Yeah, I suppose that's actually fine if we just did this, right? Yeah. Once that's done, that should unlock that while the new signals through. Yep. Then the moment we run out of counts, once we're out of anything in that generator, then that should lock again. Unless I'm an idiot like this. Perfect. Now I want to maybe think about it. This might not be a good spot to put this. I'm maybe thinking we figure out a way to turn you off right there. Which would mean just rerouting this up to here. Hmm. Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. Cause I could. Maybe I do this. What if we did this? Which would then allow us to do. This again. Right, and then just gotta reroute you over to here. Right? Yeah. What's keeping you up though? Oh, you. That's what's keeping you up. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Eh, no, can't do that. Oh, that. Yes, there we go. Eh, stupid. There we go. And so I'm gonna, there's nothing in here. Simultaneously locks that and simultaneously pulls that back. Hmm. Well, now that's a no bueno. Can't be having that tick to reset that right there like that. Can't be having that. Let this decrease for a minute. Should take two more. Oh, whoops. How does that? Fun. There we go. Yeah, I realize. Yeah. Yeah, this could be an issue. This thing right here, it's a slight, it's a very slight issue. Okay, guess we just gotta move it back one then. Cool, cool, cool. 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 Cool, cool, cool. Hmm. When that's a slight pain. That just slight pain in the neck of hers. You know? So maybe I do something like this. No, because now that just powers all of that. Can't be having that. What if we just did this? Have I been overthinking this? Oh, oh, oh. I'm a genius. Not. Okay. Yeah, so that should look like that. This is this. Can be having, can't do that though. Oh, that could be a second cause issue. Having this here. I think it does. Yeah. Darn. Darn you! Darn you! Hmm. Do we just gotta move you then? So if we move this back to here, right? So actually, we could just straight up move all of that over to here then. Burp, 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 burp. And then we need to activate these. That better. It's quite a lot cleaner if I just do that. Oh, I think that's it. I think that's the fix. And then we just gotta delayification. Yeesh, yeesh. Okay. So that's getting locked. So no reset signal. Absolutely nothing's coming out of here. And there shouldn't be. Yep. Yep. Winning. That's resetting. Resetting spaghettis. Then if we did account now. Awesome. I believe it all works. I do believe it all works. Incredibly. Ugh. Ah, there is a small test case. Of course there is. Of course there is. Alright, cool. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 'This, I think. And then 12. Perfect. Even better. Now I don't even worry about that. Where did all of that go? I wonder. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah, there we go. Now it should be working. something still didn't quite feel right. There should be one reset, and right after those counts are done, that's the first reset. Take it down to 8. Yep. There we go. Perfect. Now that's cleaned up. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Winning, my dear son, my dear son. We are winning. Alright, so now what this does, this essentially, all this really does, what I added here is a very basic counter for, because this is the attachment for the punishment system, the punishment tier, where I am thinking every time we, if we were to hit a certain limit on here, right, certain limit of yeah, if we were to run out of a certain amount of power, aka amount of heat out of here, it would then return in at increasing our punishment tier by 1. I'm thinking that's gonna be the way that system works. I do need to grab myself a counter real quick. Perfect. Alright, that's all added in. Oh, what's up next? I should probably maybe add a, I need to add a cooldown to this, I believe, actually. Now that I think about it. Hmm. Pain. Yeah, actually, no. This is actually this is work. We could work with this. Yeah, because you can do that. Actually, no. It'd be better if we did this because it'll save us a lot of space. And this just allows us to add a full 1 to 2 minute cooldown for each tier. That way it's not going willy nilly on me on punishment tiers going up out of nowhere. Let's see what else. So this will send a signal. This is my input counter. Just to count there. So would there be any reason to just? Well, I guess yeah. There might be a few cases where there's events that could trigger this. So we just need to separate one of those for its own. Just to increase it right then and there. No, rather here. I'm realizing that actually was fine, just like this. Alright, okay. Place. There we go. Cool. So that would increments it, and then there's also this timer that goes off for roughly a minute. Next up, we need to add a system to reset, to keep looping these up here. Should be a very basic system. Should. Keyword should. That should do it. Should. I suppose we could also toss there and then. Alright, so that adds some counts. And then we just gotta wait and watch everything just kind of reset in time. Wonderful. How many counts would it take for us to get to the point where I need us to increase our thing? Quite a lot. Holy cow, that is a lot. Which is good. No, that's very good. That's a lot. Because it means we are intaking a lot before we even reach the limit. It's a really good sign. Like a really, really good sign. We want to get that, because then after that, after we figure out exactly when the turning point is, we can figure out the math. Holy cow, Batman! How much further do how many more do I got press? One more. Eh. One more. One more. Another. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, what are we looking at right now? $64 plus 47. I pulled the good old calculator. Uh, 190 something. 192, yeah. Plus 47. 239. We can get to 239. And we divide all of that by 4, which is... Yeah, so somehow I ended up with like an extra one. I'm not sure exactly how that's happened. Um, okay, so scratch that 30. Which in turn means we can have 59 or 60, one of those two happen. I guess probably. Yeah, so somewhere along there we lost one. But that in turn means we can have 60 counts. Which ain't bad. That's quite healthy. Considering the fact that I can now this means that I can scale everything else to match that more accordingly. Like the amount that's coming in, the amount that I scale here. I could increase the amount that gets generated per one call. For one generation. I can also, yeah. Alright then, cool though. Made some very good progress on that. I'm pleasantly surprised with this. And even better, this is just slowly decaying and getting it's just eating through all of those counts. So like by the time it's all said and done, yeah, okay. Which makes me think that maybe this was fine how it was before. Being out over to here. Yeah, because that's gonna take a decent amount of time to eat through. For resetting all of that, that's gonna take some time. Ah, did my mic die? Damn. Well, hey Feather, if you didn't hear me before, thanks for stopping in. How long my mic died for? Probably for a very while. For a good while. Usually happens. It's just usually how that works. Glad to hear you're alright. I'm doing alright. Been a little bit busy, but nothing too bad. Getting some work done. Got some work off camera, off stream on the card processor. Getting some stuff cleaned up and all connected. It's getting there slowly, very slowly. At the moment, though, we are working on some new systems, which are the Catastrophe, the Mania, and punishment tier systems, which are the other main systems apart from the card processor that get ran. Indeed, lots of systems. Wait, was this right? Oh, this was right originally. Ah, no, no, no. Wait, yeah, no. Darn, unfortunate turn of events. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let me just go grab this. This is Mania. This is Catastrophe. This way I know which one is which. What is which system? Why would I have a thing to reset this though? I wonder. Why would I need a manual reset? Not reset, not reset. Manual decrementer. Maybe just for testing. Definitely for testing, actually. Definitely for testing. But what about beyond testing? Don't really have a reason beyond testing. Oh, unless wait, no, there is a reason. Cards, Alright. Very smart. Not fib. It's a lie. It's all fake. I'm fake. Decked out is faked. Nothing's real. It's all the Truman Show. Imagine. That would be kind of crazy. Hmm. Let's see, so this does all the counting. We would need to pull a signal from here. Smart is smart is relative, is subjective look on things. I think people can be smart in different things. I still don't exactly consider myself the smartest at this stuff. This stuff is just like, what I do here is like it's just combining basic, like the basics of redstone. Really all it is. There isn't anything that's exactly complex about the things I make with redstone. It's just combining, it's just different combinations of the basics over and over again. But I appreciate it. See, so in theory, this works how I think it works. Oh, I should do that. Okay. So if we were to do, oh, key. Perfect. Yes. 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 We're winning. My thing is working. Let's go. It was cutting it really close though. That I'm not exactly happy with. Oh. We're gonna move this back. We're gonna move this all back from here. Wow, one block. So I can add extra repeaters. Wonderful. Eh, eh. Itchy nose. That's gonna be an issue. Now my question is, why are you not doing the thing you're supposed to be doing? Ah, that's why. Aha. I forgot to remove my manual maintenance mode. My manual debugger maintenance mode funny thing. Yeah, I should be decrementing that now. Should. Oh. How does this happen? Oh, that's how that happened. I didn't get it. I didn't grab it. Whoops. Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is PG. There we go. Perfect. Why are you being powered? Unless you were, oh, you're empty. Okay, that's why you're being powered. Okay, the thing is working as intended. Perfect. Yeah. All right. Burp. 1, 2, 3. Bingo bongo. Bingo flipping bongo. We're winning. Heck yeah. Oh, why was that so what? Oh, 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 oh. That was bad. That was fast, my boy. Okay, maybe 6 is better than, yeah, 6 might be the move. 6 feels like the move. Scaling that down to 6. All right, cool. Very, very cool. Right. So we're just gonna like do this thing where, right, I'm just gonna pre-queue a ton. AK, oh, we need way more. We're gonna need more than 64. That is something I didn't foresee until now, but here we are. Here we are. Okay. I think we need one in here. That way we can go like this, and then we can go like this, and we can. All right, time to let this run. Be here for. So, let me explain what this is exactly doing while I let this do its thing. What this first system is called is the Mania generator. This is a dynamic generator that goes up and down that allows us to count exactly how much mania is being generated by the player. Mania is a form of fear, which the player can generate by activating skulk sensors, seeing creakings, or doing a former player event. So like opening special doors, quests, secrets, tasks, anything like that, right? And each mania is a single count. And the way this scales is we have a basic counter that is being scaled such that each, for one single incoming pulse or signal of mania being generated, we are scaling that to being a certain amount with math, with some math involved to balance things out. And that will add to the counter each pulse will add that scaled value to the counter. And with each pulse, we need to count. We have to keep adding counts to that. But then once we're done adding all those counts up into the counter per the scaled value, we then have to take a secondary scaled value on the decrementer with its own cooldown clock, where it is running on a constant clock, assuming that there is a count in the generator. Meaning, if we had a zero, if we had zero mania in general, then the auto decrementer wouldn't activate at all. But if there is mania, even just one, then the auto decrementer will activate. And the importance of that is to simulate the idea of, all right, so you are going quite insane. You are increasing how insane you're becoming, right? But now that you've run through all your mania being generated, now we can kind of simulate the idea of it deteriorating over time, dissipating as you cool off, so to say, which is actually happening right now that we've finished all the counts. Perfect. Let's go. Winning. I know it is pretty it's pretty fun. It's a pretty cool system. Then on top of that, we are using signal strength. We are pulling two different things. The first thing, thank you. I try, whenever I explain things, I try to explain things without the gibberish, the words you don't really need to know type thing, you know. But what's it called? No, not so much simpleton. It's just details you don't really need unless like you're curious. Even if you did understand like the details, you don't really need the details generally. But then using signal strength, we can pull two different things. First, we can pull the value of how much have you used for this scale in if we scale this value, if we scale our total through this filter of factors, and using that we can pull our punishment tier systems, which says as each time we reach a certain limit on what is left, after we hit that threshold or even just go past it, then we're like, hey, we need to increase that punishment system. And that's what this line does back here. It's just a basic incrementer that just holds that value, holds the values, and will just keep incrementing. And then there's also like a 1 to 2 minute cooldown. That way you can't, there's no way of having these going off willy-nilly and just ruining a run for no apparent reason other than, well, you got unlucky. Sad to say. And then there's also a way to do it manually due to other factors throughout the run, which this can also handle. Let's see. Give me one moment. Then I'll finish the next. I'll explain the next bit, which is actually the last bit. I just need a very basic on-off system. to save. This is on. If on. Go and cause me a slight pain in the neck. Just a little bit. Fine. Should be fine. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Here we can actually see the passive cooldown, you know, working its magic. So this is the counter, and this is what we've generated. What's been generated will be in this hopper, and as the passive decrementer works its way through the system, it will you'll see this just slowly filtering out, just like a small chunk at a time, just a small enough chunk at a time. But then the second thing we're pulling the signal from, we are using the signal to pull the length of time for this great thing called Catastrophe, not Mania, Catastrophe, which is the next layer of the onion of on top of Mania, where as you generate more Mania, you're becoming more insane, more manic. But obviously, the more manic you become, more schizophrenic, paranoid voices you can be hearing. With these voices and sounds, you're going to be hearing, there's a chance that some of these things are actually happening in the game. So like, let's say you heard some rumbling or some cracking, that could actually be a map change, meaning there could be pathways that are blocked off or slightly altered, not in a way that will kill you, but in a way that will make things tough and annoying, especially when you become blinded if you are at the stage of manic, a certain level of manic. Because if you are at a certain level of mania, you are also becoming blind. But on top of becoming more manic, at a certain threshold, you start you're eligible to activate Catastrophe. But as you become even more manic, that progressively gets high. That likelihood of Catastrophe actually happening becomes more and more likely of happening. And what this does is we are pulling that signal strength to say, hey, so this is how much we've generated, and with that we can say exactly the probability we want for Catastrophe to actually happen. And each one of these acts as that probability RNG module for the according amount of power we are reading. Absolutely, it's always fun to see anything in concept coming into reality. And yeah, that is essentially what I've done here. That is everything right there in a nutshell. The next thing I need to do is this great thing called block. I need to add the block systems where we block Mania and catastrophe from happening. So now I'm saying this, I'm realizing I need to move something around. Darn. We are so close. Gotcha. Thanks for stopping in. I'm not sure if I'll still be live if you're back, but when you get back, but thanks again for stopping in. I'll see you when I see you. Fine. Do. Mania. Luck. Each one of these counts will represent a time. Essentially, we are just doing this again. It's a very versatile system, I must say. I must admit, it is a very versatile system. Then that signal just gets held out. That should be all. That should be everything. I'm realizing how much bigger I need to make the how much bigger I need to make the schedule handler. That's fun. And we're just kind of we are quite literally just copy pasting this for the block. In a nutshell, we are just copy pasting this. Guess the question is, do I want? Because we can actually rotate that. Yeah, we can rotate all of this. To be over here. We could just toss you up here. Toss you up here. Here. So I know I should rotate you. That, and then it just goes around here. Perfect. Wonderful. Oh wait, but this one isn't time-based. Wait, hold on. Neither of these are technically time-based. Hold on. Why am I time-basing? Why am I time-basing these? Hold on. I don't need time-basing. I'm a fool. I am a fool. I am a fool of fools. Alright, right. Then this does some basic counting. Actually, move you over here. Move you back. Then each count represents this. And you just gotta move you around. Such that each count will come here. Oh wait, hold on. We want this to take priority, so we actually need to move this over here to take. So this takes priority. So I just gotta change this around a bit. No big deal. Should be alright. Should be alright. We just need to make sure we get the order right, really. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, this doesn't have to be a counter either. No, sorry, this does have to be counted. This doesn't have to be a clock. Rather, that's what I meant. Hmm. Sidechain. Let's move this over. Welcome back. Alright, there we go. I had to make some quick changes while you were gone, but nothing that couldn't be handled. Yeah, so in the end, so Decked Out as a whole, the idea with Decked Out is it's a game that will run completely on its own, other than you have to select your difficulty. The player must select their difficulty, obviously start the game, start the run manually, and then they'll also have to end the game in a way manually. But otherwise, everything in the game will run completely on its own, completely automatic. That means resetting it. That means uh, running all the systems during your run, prepping any systems before a run, and yeah. That's how every Decked Out works. Indeed, indeed, it is pretty cool. Yeah, I would recommend though, if you truly want to understand like Decked Out as a whole, go watch if you have the time, and if you are again interested, go watch Tango Tech creating Decked Out 2, and also just running the game on his second channel. Plenty of information about. That's really the best way to truly grasp the whole idea of how Decked Out works. And of course, a big thanks to him, because a lot of this wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for him. Actually, it wouldn't be a thing at all. 1, 2. Hey, good enough. Good enough. Need some stone in my life. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do it. And just add a output line here for this. Catastrophe has its own. No, is there one? No, it doesn't. Never mind. This one does not have its own color. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Let's see. So priority. Mania takes priority first. Mania block takes priority. Then Mania has their catastrophe block takes priority last. And then we need one for treasure and one for scrap. That should do it though for these systems over here. And yeah, that should do it. Alright. Let's run this real quick, right? There's the key. Let's send in some mania first. And then queue up some of this. And then we'll queue up some of this. Ah, okay, no, there is one more thing I need to do. Holy cow, that's fast. Okay, that many degeneration was very also too fast. Very too fast. Heck yes. Works as intended. Everything is working. Let's go. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Just gotta kind of confiddle around with the scales, I think. I think maybe so. I think maybe what we had before here better. And then we just increase that to okay, let's run it again. This time let's queue up some of this. fast. That's fast. Holy fast. That's awesome. No, that is awesome. Okay. Well, that finishes that was everything I had for stream. Right then and there. That's perfect timing as well. Awesome. All right. Well, that concludes the entire implementation of the brand new Mania, Catastrophe, and punishment tier system for the schedule handler, anyways. Which is kind of the bulk. That is like the complexities of it. That was very quick and easy. All right. Thank you all for watching. I really don't know when I'm gonna be live next. I would be inclined to agree with that statement. But yeah, I will see y'all when I see y'all.